Congratulations everyone! Now we are proceeding to module number 2 of quarter number 4. We have the same competency, which is all about judging the relevance and worth of ideas, soundness of authors' reasoning, and effectiveness of the presentation. So we will start on page number 1, and we will identify the objectives for this module, determine whether the ideas presented are relevant or irrelevant, identify the topic sentence and the subordinating sentences in the text read to prove the soundness of ideas expressed, and judge the relevance and worth of ideas presented in non-linear texts. So we have here in What I Know part, we will read the text below, then accomplish the tasks that follow. Write your answer on a separate sheet of answers. So we have here by Mildred Delgado. It is entitled 4 Factors to Consider When Choosing Your Career Path. So after reading that, we have here the personality, the lifestyle, transferable skills, a new path. So we have here the source. So after reading that, you will identify the sentence. It's a topic sentence or subordinating sentence to prove the soundness of the text read. Write the letter of your answer on a separate answer sheet. So you will simply write letter A if it's topic sentence, then B if it's subordinating sentence. So here are the sentences for numbers 1 to 5. So in numbers 1 to 5, your answer will be A, topic sentence, B, subordinating sentence. So if it's topic sentence, then you will have A. If it's not, B. Then, judge the relevance of the material you have read. Write your answers on a separate answer sheet. So, you will grade it 1, 3, or 5. Then your reason. How relevant is the article for a student like you? Or what is the importance? Is it important for a student like you? How will you rate the comprehensiveness? So when you say comprehensiveness, the details, the information which are really helpful to you. How will you judge the timeliness, or it's really connected and useful even at this time? Then how will you judge the factuality of the material, meaning the level of being true, the level of being fact. Then, number 10, how will you judge the clarity? Is it clear? Is it really understandable? Then, is it 1, 3, 5? Then 1 will be the lowest, then 5 will be the highest, then your reason. Then complete the concept layer map. So we have the 4 factors to consider when choosing your career path. Supporting detail 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have here 5 items. What is the main topic? Then, supporting details. 4 supporting details. Then for what's in, fill the gaps in the paragraph below with appropriate words. Choose your answers from the word pool. So for numbers 1 to 5, you will identify the letters from the word pool. Is it distinguish, opinion, statement, facts, reader, true? You will just identify or fill each statement with the appropriate word from the word pool. And if you will write your answer, you will just write the correct letter that corresponds to your answer. Then read the sentences below and identify the fact and the opinion. Copy on your answer sheet the part of the passage that corresponds to your answer. So, research has indicated that a person's pulse rate, blood pressure, and respiratory rate increase when the person is under stress. All people, therefore, should do stress management techniques on a daily basis. So, we have discussed it in our previous module. So, what do you think is the fact? Then, what do you think is the opinion? Then, so you will just choose the answer based from this paragraph above. So, there are only 2 sentences. So, then 1 sentence for fact, and then 1 for opinion. Then For what's new, you are doing a research on traveling during COVID-19 period as part of your performance task in English 9. And as you surf the net, you come across this article about vaccine passports. Read the article carefully, then judge the relevance of the material based on the set of standards presented in the table below that you previously learned from module number 1. So what vaccine passports mean for your summer vacation? So after reading that, it's from CNN, then you will answer yes or no based on the given standard. Does the information relate to your research question, or it's really targeting your aim? Is the information complete, or is it all having the details that you need? Does it still reflect the present situation or the timeliness? Is the information correct, or the factual or the truthfulness? Are factual descriptions correct and based on hard facts, meaning it's really credible and valid sources? Are opinions supported by facts? Is it fake news? So yes or no based on what you have read. And for the discussion part, judging the relevance and worth of ideas, soundness of authors' reasoning, and the effectiveness of their presentation. Determining relevance and worth of a material. Determining relevance and worth of a material is a reading strategy that you, as student, need to use to distinguish between what information in a text is most important versus what information is interesting but not necessary for understanding. This practical reading strategy enables you to distinguish between the most and least important information presented in textbook, but somehow it might be difficult. That's the reason why we are mastering this competency. However, if we will master this learning competency, if we will enhance our ability on being a critical reader, then we will have focus always to what really matters the most. For example, there are really part of the essay that only makes the entire essay not clear or not understandable. Then we have to eliminate that, because not only as a reader but also a writer, we should also promote the clarity and the oneness of the thought. So all information should be truthful, should be clear, should be connected to one another, because if it's not important, why do you need to include that? Then how do we determine the relevance and worth of ideas? So we have here the imaginary camping. To help you make connections with the strategy of determining importance, I bring out a bag filled with camping items before you, and from these items you must choose 5, one of the most important ones needed for an imaginary camping trip. Rank them according to importance and list a compelling reason for each item chosen. Meaning of compelling, meaning why do you choose tent instead of this? Why do you choose camera instead of chicken? Like that. So you will have the most important to least important. Then your reason. Then we have 5. For example, you chose lamp, tent, lunchbox, telescope, then camera, then relevance of the item. Why did you choose that in favor of those remaining? So in reading, you need to become a detective and search for the most important points of the text. Along your reading journey, there will be distractors or less important information given to make the selection more interesting or clearer to the reader. This information, however, is not essential to understanding the point of the nonfiction text, because sometimes we are very overloaded with the things that we want to share. However, we should always be mindful what should be useful, what should be included, and what should be not, or what should not be included. Because reader might be confused with your target, with your aim. So it's very essential for us to really include what are the things should be included, and not the things that will build misunderstanding and confusion. So we should always focus on the things that we really think that it's really important. But sometimes we think that everything is important, then you have to rank, categorize which is really important. So we have the keywords purpose and focus. You might have experienced going shopping with a very limited cash on hand when your mother asked you to buy things needed for your sister's birthday party. This experience might have taught you how to focus on your purpose, to buy things for the birthday party. Though you might have other personal ones, you could not just get whatever you wanted because of the limited budget. Because of that scenario, we can infer that what is really needed, then get it. And what is not essential, even you want it, if the situation really hinders you to get that, then you should only choose the important ones. So the purpose and focus are essential in life as well as in reading. As a student, you don't simply read materials. Often your teacher asks you to read for a specific purpose from which you list down, mentally or manually, the necessary and expected information to gather. Our purpose determines the relevance and worth of the materials we read. Let us assume that you were tasked to research of the efficacy of the COVID-19 vaccine. As you surfed the internet to gather information, you came across an article about teenage depression. Evidently, teenage depression didn't concern you and was not relevant to your research question. However, this article might be relevant to your classmate. So you can give this to your classmate. But if it's not really related to yours, then you should not include it, because we will have information to support, not to weaken our stand, to weaken our study, or any literary text that you are composing. So when you see topic sentence, it's the main topic or it's the main sentence which will be the summary of all. But when you see subordinating sentences, these are the remaining sentences which will support the topic sentence. So one way to easily determine the soundness of a text, on the other hand, is to see if the topic sentence and the subordinating sentences are effectively woven together in creating unity and coherence. Topic sentence, usually we can see it at the beginning, but sometimes it can be found at the middle, at the end. But the key idea, the key tip that we can have in determining the topic sentence, the general sentence that will serve as an umbrella to all of the remaining sentences, because it is the general, it is the main idea of a particular paragraph. So I hope you learned for what's more relevant versus interesting. Determine whether the ideas presented in the material are relevant or simply interesting. So we have here Finding Real Happiness by Raymond O. de la Cruz. So we have here up until here. I know you are in a crossroads right now as your door opens to another level of academic journey. Before you set your foot forward, know that you must not do it in a hurry. Stand at the threshold and know thyself more than your eagerness to know the destination. So before choosing a career, you must ask yourself the following. What are my interests, skill, talent, strength, personality, values, training do you need? For example, should you attend seminar, training, even conducted online? Are there jobs available? Meaning after graduating, is it easy or difficult to find job related to where you graduated from? How much money do I want to make? Where do I want to live? Why do I want to pursue? Because remember that you are the captain of your own ship. There may be currents and winds, but make it known to yourself that your ship has its sail that control where you want to go. Be it known to yourself as well that in your heart is a compass that directs you to real happiness. And to give you a piece of advice that I enjoy everything. I enjoyed my college life because I really wanted to become a teacher. And there is no secret formula to succeed except to be yourself and to follow your heart. Because by following your heart, as long as it's for goodness, then nothing to regret with. You have to always base everything to goodness and to what is really near to your heart. So I look out the window once again and notice a bright star peeping through a cloud-covered night sky. So blah blah blah. What do you think is the relevant and interesting? So when you say relevant, it's really connected to the topic. It is belong or it is helping to achieve oneness or the coherence. But interesting, it might be really sounding good but not totally related. So we have here 4 texts. You will identify if it's relevant or interesting. So it's 1 to 5. Independent assessment 1, the relevance of the text. So very relevant, relevant, not relevant. So after reading this one, is it relevant to grade 3, 10 college professional guidance counselor? Then very relevant or not relevant. Or simply on your answer sheet, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then your answer, is it very relevant, relevant or not relevant? So for independent activity 2, seeing the relevance in non-linear text, study the graph below, then judge the relevance and worth of ideas presented in and using the standards you learned from the previous lesson. You are working on a research paper on COVID-19 as part of your performance tasks in English 9. So we have here the data. So after studying this data, we will also evaluate the standard. Does the information relate to your research title? Yes or no? Does it still reflect present situation or is it timely and relevant at the present situation? Yes or no? Is the information correct and complete? Is it factual or is it more on opinionated? Yes or no? Are factual description correct and based on hard facts, or meaning the evidence? Are all evidences based from the concrete and strong sources? Yes or no? Independent assessment 2, seeing the relevance in non-linear text. So based here again, judge the relevance and worth of ideas. So we have here, like the one we have done here, where we did here. Independent activity 3, seeing the relevance in the article, read the article below, then accomplish the task that follows. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. So we have here the official statement of the pilot implementation of limited face-to-face classes. Then we will answer this, and we explained it a while ago. You will identify if you agree or not. 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest, then reason. When you say relevant, is it related for you as a student? Or is it comprehensive? Is it really full of details, complete details? Then how will you judge the timeliness? Is it relevant up until nowadays? How will you judge the factuality of the material? Is it pure facts or opinionated? Then the clarity, is it organized or not? Then you will have to state the reason and based on what you have read. Then independent assessment 3, seeing the worth of the material, read the article below, then accomplish the task that follow. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. So after reading, House Committee backs DepEd to continue academic ease measures. So it is an article. You will have this question, then yes, no, then reason. And based again from what you have understood. So in what I have learned, you will simply complete this statement. In this module, I have learned that my ability to distinguish the relevant from the irrelevant information in various texts is helpful to me as a student because, or what is the advantage, or what are the advantages of knowing which is true from not, which is more important from least important, like that. And for what I can do, you will read The Resolution by Raymond O. de la Cruz, and then yes, no, then reason. Practically applicable, or you can really apply it in your real life. Information complete or not. Reflect present situation, or you can apply it even pandemic or even in your own present situation. Does the title give you clear idea, or the title give you a glimpse, a summary, a preview of what the text is all about? Is the topic sentence supported by evidences and examples, or are there subordinating details that promotes oneness and the coherence of the text? Then the conclusions, is it clear? Is it really summing up what you have or what is being told in the entire sentence? Effectiveness, are the examples appropriate? Is it supporting the main topic? Do the examples or details follow clear organization pattern? Are the examples simple and easy to understand? Or effectiveness, again, if it's clear. So for assessment, read this. The best paying jobs in the Philippines: civil engineer, financial broker, aircraft pilot, and then we have here up on here. Then you will identify again if it's topic sentence or subordinating sentence, like the one you have done in the what I know part. So these are all based from what you have read. Then 1, 3, 5, 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest, then your reason. Then fill in the table below the appropriate entries from the text you read. So you will, what do you think is the top 3 based on what you have read, the best paying jobs in the Philippines? Then the description, what is the responsibility of that particular job, then the salary. Then for additional activity, look for a fiction and non-fiction texts, read them comprehensively, then accomplish the grid below. Submit this to your teacher together with the copies of the reading materials. Or simply, if it's quite many, you can, and if you got it through online, then you can send the link, so it will be cheaper. And if it's from hard copy or from books or articles, journals in a hard copy, then you will just say the title and the author. So yes, no, the relevance, then the reason, like the one we have done a while ago. And that's all. I hope you learn, because it's a continuation only of our module number 1. And if you still have a question about this module, feel free to message your English teacher. No one will help you as long as you ask them for what is not clear to you. So we should help one another. For us to help you better, you have to cooperate, to message, to communicate. Therefore, there will be effective relationship, and that's an important one or thing that we have in new normal education. Stay safe,